Hello and welcome to Module 1. This is the video that accompanies the handouts and the worksheets that you have also received in this module. Sometimes it's nice to hear things and see someone in video explain what's been written. It helps it to sink in a bit more. So that's why I have recorded this accompanying video to go over the materials and the actions that you are going to be doing this week. So Module 1 is all about goal setting and finding our big motivating factor. It's not going to be about the food. I specifically have not given a weekly meal plan this week, but we are going to focus on hydration. Oftentimes, this is something that many of us don't do. We don't drink enough water. So I'll talk a little bit about why that's important and some tips on getting your 8 glasses of water a day. So that is going to be your main food goal for this first week. We will start with meal plans next week. So to get started, as I mentioned, our first tasks this week are goal setting and finding our big motivating factor. So I suggest that you print things out. I like to print everything, but at the very least print out the worksheets, because the actual act of writing these things down make your chances of success much, much greater. And I wanted to make sure you had a platform for actually writing things down, because thinking about what you want your goal to be or thinking about why you want to achieve your goal is not as effective as actually writing it down. So I created the worksheets so that you could actually do them. So here is the one that I want you to do first, the working on your why. In a few weeks' time, after motivation, the initial excitement and motivations have worn down, but before the real new habits have taken hold, you may be feeling a little frustrated. I want you to be able to come back to this sheet to really know why you began in the first place. So I gave an example in the handout about a goal being, in the example I gave was a weight loss goal, but yours may be totally different. That's fine. It doesn't matter what it is, but the initial goal, as in the example, was I want to lose 15 pounds. But then you need to ask yourself, well, why is that important to me? So you say, okay, well, I want to be able to fit into my favorite jeans that don't fit anymore. Okay, well, why is that important to me? And then you dig deeper and deeper into why. Well, I want to feel more confident in my body. Okay, why is that important to you? And then the next one digs even deeper. Well, I want to be more social. When I'm more confident, I'm going to go out more. And then you continue about 5 times. That's what I've given space for. But if you need to go more times than that, add another piece of paper, but keep digging down until you find something that's really emotionally triggering for you, something that's so important to you and aligns with your values that you will be able to come back to and really be motivated by, because this is super important to you. So the one in the example is that you're going to be able to be more social and have deeper relationships, for instance. That's the example in the handout. So make sure you complete that and then flip it over to the other side and set your actual goal. Apologies there. So again, when the goal may be a weight loss goal, it might be something else, but you need to fill out the SMART goal worksheet and answer all the questions. You can put lots of answers down there. There's lots of places to make sure your goal is very specific, measurable, attainable, relevant to you, and give yourself a timeline. So make sure you fill out those, because these are going to be something that we can come back to. When we have our personal calls, I'll ask you to either photograph it and send it to me or scan it, and I'll explain all about how we're going to book those calls. Not to worry, I'll explain all that in the Facebook group. But I will use a system called Practice Better. I'll set everyone up with an account, your own personal account, and we can communicate through there. You can send me documents and I can share things with you, and we can have our teleconference calls right in that system, and it's all healthcare information safety compliant. So everything is secure and safe in that system. And I look forward to talking with each one of you about your more individual needs. So those are the one action that I want you to finish, those 2 sheets. The other one is about making sure you drink enough water. This is super important. It's not only associated with better weight loss, but also better detoxification. It really helps eliminate excess estrogen, excess hormones. It just helps your body to clear waste products out. And that you're going to hear a lot of that throughout the weeks in the different modules. Again, in your welcome video in the Facebook group, I held up a list of what each topic is going to be. We're going to be going through, obviously, we're going to listen to our body. We're going to talk about cravings, diet and digestion. We are going to talk about emotional eating, stress, sleep, hormones, detoxification, optimizing our energy. We're going to get into limiting beliefs, and then we're going to do a final self-assessment at the end to see whether we've addressed all the areas that we want to, or what your next goal might want to be, what you want to work on next, and how you want to keep going. That is the whole series of 12 weeks, but you'll get 1 per week because I don't want to overwhelm you. I want this to feel somewhat easy and natural. Change isn't usually easy, but we're going to make it as easy as we can. So as I mentioned, the main hydration consumption goal this week is to get those 8 glasses of water. Now, I provided a few ideas on some recipes, but I'm going to give you 3 other shortcuts or hacks that I use to make sure I get my 8 glasses. So first of all, I use my water bottle. I know how much fits in there, and I know how many times I need to fill it up in a day. That's number 1. So number 2, how do I keep it more interesting if I don't want just water? Well, we use vitamin C powder as a supplement in our house. I use it in a powder form. So for one of my water bottles, I can put that in there and it adds a little bit of more interesting taste. Another thing that I do is I use a little bit of low sugar kombucha and maybe fill it up a quarter of the way with that and the rest with water. And that gives me another interesting taste. And finally, I buy a whole bag of lemons and I squeeze them with my juicer, put them in ice cube trays, and they're in the freezer, and I can pop one of those in my water, and it's fresh lemon juice, well, frozen, but doesn't have anything else added. And those are 3 ways that I keep my water interesting. If you want to try it, you can also have herbal teas. That's another option. So this has been module 1. If you have questions, please post them in the Facebook group. I will be there every day to answer, and I will also answer questions live once a week. So I'll gather up all the questions that you've answered. Maybe some of them are better answered live, and I will address those ones once a week. I have planned Mondays at noon. I'm hoping that you have a lunch time that you can listen and come online. And if not, the recording will be there and you can watch it. So get working on your module 1 exercises, and I will see you in the next module and in the Facebook group.